sorry about the light. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This is Inside number 23. My name is Katie. You can find me on Instagram as Miss Lavelli. You can find me on Ravelry as Miss Lavelia. And yeah, welcome back. I'd like to say a huge welcome back to anyone who has watched before. And also, I have to say a very special welcome to all of the new subscribers that I seem to have picked up along the last couple of days. Thank you so much for checking me out. I hope you like what you see here. There's a lot of knitting and sewing, so if you're into that, hopefully you'll like what you see. Yeah, I think a lot of my subscribers are joining me from lovely Eric's podcast. Eric, of course, who hosts the Sticks Plus Twine podcast, which if you're not from there and you haven't watched it, you really should. I absolutely love Eric and everything that he does. He said he enjoys the aesthetic of my podcast, which is lovely, but I really enjoy his as well. He's such a gentleman. He's been nothing but encouraging of my little piece of YouTube, so thank you for that, Eric, and thank you for the mention on your previous episode. So do please go and check him out and spread the love in case you haven't watched him previously. This week is a little different. I am trying a new segment. Previously, the majority of my posts have been based on my knitting, but I am also a really keen sewist. I sew a lot of clothes. A couple of years ago, I pretty much just made all of my own clothes, so either sewing or knitting. And that's something that I'd really like to get back into this year. It's been a while since I sewed on a regular basis, but I have got a couple of projects that I've been working on recently that I'd like to share, and also a few things that I have planned for the future as well. As seems traditional in these kind of videos, I am drinking some yummy tea. This is one of my all-time favourite mugs from, well, I suppose it's kind of teacup, but it's a bit bigger than a teacup. It's from Anthropology, and today I'm drinking pucker tea, which I believe is elderberry and echinacea, that I got in a little herbal tea box set that they did, and it's really yummy. I think a lot of people must see knitting and sewing and tea all going together. I'm not sure why, but like I said, I do enjoy a lovely cup of tea. Let me just pop this down. So yeah, this is my newest segment. This is So What for January of 2016. Today is the last day of January. I'm getting in just under the wire, and I wanted to share with you a couple of my sewing projects that I have completed recently. The first is this shirt that I'm wearing. If you watched my previous What's on My Needles video, you will have seen this little collar peeking out underneath my cabled sweater that was on one of my finished objects on that video. But I did promise you that I would give you a better look at the shirt, and this is it. This pattern is the GRANVILLE shirt pattern by SEWAHOLIC. This is the little pattern sleeve. None of the pattern pieces are actually in here because they're all still in a little pile in my sewing room, but this is the sleeve of SEWAHOLIC patterns, and yeah, this is the completed shirt. It is fully buttoned down the front. I did alter the collar. I prefer a more rounded look of a collar, so I altered that. It has cuffs, it has the cuff sleeve detail here, and also the back, if I can show you. Yeah, you can kind of see. It has a yoke, which I changed the direction of the stripe. This is the first button-down shirt that I have ever made. I love shirts. I don't have any in my wardrobe. Well, I didn't have any before I made this one. And I just love the idea of being able to layer up in the winter, which is why I wanted to give this pattern a try. It came very highly recommended. Pretty much anyone online who has made this shirt is a little bit obsessed with it, and for good reason. SEWAHOLIC in general, their patterns are very clear, very concise. and they're really, really helpful. I find if you're a beginner sewer or more intermediate, they have a very, very clear and detailed set of instructions included. So even if you're feeling perhaps not the most confident with something like this, as it is a relatively complex pattern, there are a lot of parts, there are a lot of intricate bits and pieces going on, I found it a pleasure to work with. In terms of the fabric, this is fabric that I had in my stash. To be honest, I bought this fabric years ago when I was touring. I used to do a lot of traveling for work, and wherever I was, I would pick up fabric, I would pick up yarn. So I can't remember exactly where it's from, but I believe it's kind of cotton nylon blend of fabric. It doesn't crease too easily, which is fantastic, because as you can see, these sleeves, when I crease my arm, I get all these little wrinkles, but it's so easy to just kind of flatten all of those out. If I had used a higher cotton content, this would be very, very creased. The only thing that I would say construction wise with the shirt, I don't tend in general as a sewist to make muslins. I know it's very, very naughty, but I have been sewing for a very long time. I'm aware of my body type, what tends to fit me and what doesn't. So I can assess from a pattern and the measurements and flat measuring patterns what kind of size is usually going to fit me. And in general, that does work fairly well, particularly if I'm working with a woven fabric that doesn't have much stretch. I can usually assess exactly what size would be right without having to do a full muslin or a mock-up. If you're not aware what a muslin is, it's a mock-up version of what you're making in a cheaper fabric or scrap fabric, so you can assess fit before you cut into your proper fabric. As I haven't used this pattern before, there are a couple of little fit issues. As you can see, I kind of got a bit of gaping over the girls. I think a lot of this probably is to do with holiday weight, Christmas weight, but you know, I'm not in a rush to get rid of any of it, so it's a little bit tight. I would also say the sleeves are slightly tighter than I would like across my upper arms. When I make this pattern again, because I will definitely be making this pattern again, I think I will go up one size, and if I need to then alter down to get a more slim fit, because the pattern by its nature I believe is supposed to be a little bit larger, a little bit looser, whilst I prefer a more slim fit look, then I can just kind of size down from there. So yeah, like I said, love this. The seam finishes on this I'm really proud of. They're all kind of turned and sewn down, so there's no raw edges. It is more time intensive because you're pretty much sewing every seam 3 times, because you sew the main seam and then each side of the inner fabric of the seam you have to press and then sew down. So it does take a lot more time, but I think it's worth it in the long term. The light in here is a little bit rough today, so I apologise for that. I am in the UK. Yay! And it's been so grey and so grim for the last couple of days. I've been desperately trying to find a place in my house where I have more light so I can actually show you everything that I want to show you, which is why I'm in a slightly different setup today than usual. And I do have natural lights coming in, but because it's so overcast and it keeps raining, the sun is going in and out and in and out. So I do apologise for the lighting. It may not be best, but I will do my best to make sure that I show everything off as well as I should do for you. I would really recommend this pattern for anyone who's looking for a nice button-down shirt. Like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, as to me making more versions of this. I have some other fabrics from my stash that I have got picked out for this. First up is one that I have shown previously in a video. If you have seen, I believe it's my first video, which was a fabric haul, but let me show you again. It's this. This is my Little Red Riding Hood fabric cotton. It's from fabric.com, and I believe they still sell it. So if you like kind of cutesy little Red Riding Hood type things like I do, then do check them out. They do very, very good rates on shipping and everything. I shall definitely be making a Granville in this, and I have so much of this. I think I might also make a short sleeved version for spring and summer, because I'm really into wearing shirts right now and I don't want to stop when it gets a bit warmer. And the other fabric that I have is this. Again, it's a nice pinstripe. You can tell I'm into pinstripes right now, can't you? This is showing up as kind of black. It's actually navy. It's a navy pinstripe. So I want to do a similar thing to my kind of brown pinstripe, but in the navy. I don't like wearing white shirts. I feel like a bit of a waitress if I'm wearing a white shirt. And I used to have to wear, you know, when I was at school, I used to have to wear a white shirt as a part of my school uniform. So I think I have an aversion to wearing those now. But these are nice because they do come up as more of a basic. You can mix and match them with a lot of different things. And yet they're not just plain boring white. They have a bit more going on. And what's lovely about these shirts is that more and more now when I'm looking at knitting sweaters, like my cable sweater, which is right here, I still haven't sewn in the ends. I really need to do that. I've just been wearing it without them sewn in, but they look so cute just kind of with the collar peeking out of a sweater. So more and more when I'm looking at making sweaters now, I've got so many really cute sweaters and cardigans queued up on my Ravelry. I can think, oh, I can wear that with this shirt, and a whole outfit starts coming together. Okay, enough about shirts. Let me talk about my other finished objects, which are skirts. So let me show you quickly this pattern. This is the Madeleine pattern. This is by Victory Patterns. And as you can see, it is a skirt with suspender straps and these really large pockets. And again, if you've watched my previous fabric haul video, you will have seen me show this pattern. And since that video, I have made not one version of this, but two. One of them I am actually wearing now, which is here. I will be inserting some footage, some full-length footage of me wearing these skirts so you can see them properly. As you can tell, I haven't added the suspender straps. And to be honest, this is what attracted me most to the pattern when I first saw it, was the suspender straps. I love anything with straps, so like dungarees, dresses that have kind of pinafore looks to them. It's a style that really appeals to me, and that's why I originally bought this pattern, because I thought, oh, I'll wear the straps. And when I ran up my first version of this skirt, which I shall show you in a minute, I didn't have time to complete the straps because I wanted to wear it out that evening. And I found that I don't really need the straps on the skirts. I think I have fabric left over from both the versions that I've made. I may make the straps anyway and have them there in case I want to wear them. But I find them so functional just as skirts without the straps, because I love the pockets in them, the size of these pockets, and the fact that I can carry my phone, I can carry my wallet in here. It's just amazing. I am a full convert to having pockets in everything. I wear a lot of skirts. I pretty much never wear trousers. I do have a couple of pairs, but it's not something that I would kind of reach for when I'm planning an outfit. So a lot of the dresses and the skirts that I wear don't actually have pockets, but these pockets, the size of them, you can fit so much in them, and I want to put pockets in everything now. I'm a pocket convert. I shall be making more dresses and skirts with pockets from now onwards. So this is the first version of the Madeleine skirt that I made. One quick disclaimer: if I wear anything in this house, because of my beautiful little puppy Rolly, because he's a pug, he's double coated, which means he sheds like nobody's business, so nothing is safe. Anything dark is gonna have pug hair on it. So if you see pug hair, believe me, it's not just because I'm filthy and I don't clean my clothes. It's literally, I brush these down and then 10 seconds later they're covered in fur. Even if Rolly's not even in the room and hasn't been anywhere near this, they get covered in fur. If anyone has a solution to dog hair getting everywhere, then please let me know. Please comment below or send me a message or something with any tips or tricks that you might have if you also have dogs. This is the first version I made. It's a wool cotton mix fabric. It's a lovely grey colour. The reason I wanted to show you this is because you can see all of the details of the top stitching much more than on the tartan version that I'm wearing now, because I did them in this cream, so you can see better the full size of the pockets here. Look at how big and how, oh, I just love them. I lined this skirt actually with the Red Riding Hood fabric, which is too cute. I really love it. It's a lovely detail. I did a couple of things differently with this version of the skirt than the one that I'm wearing, which is I actually did flat fell seams, which basically means that you sew the seams so that the seams are on the right side of the fabric, so they're on the outside of the garment, and then you press them under themselves and you sew them down flat. It's basically the seam that you see on jeans all the time, so if you can see the external seams on a pair of jeans, you'll know what I'm talking about. The reason that I did that is that I just wanted to have more top stitching detail on the skirt, so you can see that the whole seam has that top stitching detail running all the way down. I just really liked the way that it looked. I made this version of this skirt, I believe, back in October, and I'm not gonna lie, every time I got dressed in the morning, this was what I was reaching for. I didn't want to wear anything else, and I thought, this is getting ridiculous. I need another version of this skirt. And I don't know really what's going on with me, because previous to this shirt and this skirt, I have never repeated a sewing pattern. I have a huge stash of vintage patterns, modern patterns, and having so many patterns, I've never felt the need to repeat things. I'm always on to the next new thing, you know, chasing the next new pattern. But with these, because I want to wear them as not just a special item. So for example, if you make like a beautiful dress, you might think, oh, I've got that event coming up, I can wear that dress for it, that special thing. These are functional. These are things that I can wear every day and get so much more use out of them, which is why at the moment I've found myself with 2 patterns that I just want to make all of them, which is why I've already made 2 versions of this skirt. So what more can I say about this pattern? It's a beginner's pattern, which basically means it is super simple to make. It requires very little construction. The skirt itself has, I think, maybe 4 main pattern pieces, which is the skirt front, the skirt back, which you cut 2 of, the waistband, and then the pockets, which you cut 4 of, 2 of the main fabric and 2 of the lining. And then obviously more pieces if you want to make the straps as well. But because there are only 4 pieces, it's something that you can literally run up in an afternoon. The skirt is more of a 3/4 circle skirt than a full circle, which is nice. It's very flattering, so it gives a really nice shape. The Madeleine pattern, like I said, by Victory Patterns, is one that I would fully recommend if you like this style of skirt and you want something with pockets. I'm so into pockets right now. So now that we've gone over some of my more finished objects, I want to talk about, it's not really a work in progress because I haven't actually started it yet, but my next project that I shall be sewing up over the next month or so. I bought this pattern, which is the Joan dress by Sew Over It at the end of last year. And if you can't tell, it's very heavily based on Joan from Mad Men. I am a big Joan fan, not so much a Mad Men fan now. I loved it when it first came out. I was pretty obsessed with it, but I just felt that it went on for too long, and it got frustrating, because I'm one of those people that when I start watching something, if I'm committed to a series, I feel like I have to watch the whole thing, regardless of how bad it gets. And that means that sometimes I end up watching programs that I find deeply frustrating because they're not going in the direction I want them to go, but something deep inside me says, no, you committed to this, you gave up so much of your time to this program, you have to watch it till the end. You know, naming no names, Lost was one of those. Opinions about Mad Men aside, I loved this pattern, and I thought, yeah, I could make this wiggle dress for Christmas. Long story short, I ended up making this shirt and this skirt, my tartan skirt, to wear on Christmas, and didn't end up making this dress. And I was wondering why that was, and I think, to be honest, a lot of it was to do with the skirt, the pencil skirt finish on this. I own a lot of pencil skirts, but I wear them a lot less than I used to. In previous jobs, I used to wear pencil skirts all the time, and the job that I do now involves me to be a lot more physical and to be able to move around a lot more. I spend a lot of time on my feet, so I prefer something that's not too fitted. And I love this pattern, and I wanted, like I've been saying about the things I've been making, I want them to be more functional, something that I can reach for on a day-to-day basis and not have to worry necessarily about feeling uncomfortable. And then I had an idea, which was Frankendress. Because if I could get this top, this 3/4 length sleeve top with the little tie, onto a skirt like this that I love so much in the separates, then that's just gonna be the best dress ever. So we're gonna Frankendress. We're gonna make a Frankendress. So basically, I'm going to splice together the bodice and sleeves and the tie part of this pattern, the JOAN dress, with a Madeleine skirt. I'm not going to have the large pockets on the outside because that will interfere with the kind of the line of the dress, but I am going to put pockets into the dress because I love pockets. So yeah, that is going to be my new project. The fabric I already have, which is, again, working from stash. I feel very, very smug doing all of these projects from stash. This is Italian wool suiting. It's almost a taupey brown with cream sewn into it. It is so soft and so beautiful, I can't even tell you. It's been languishing in my stash for much too long. I bought this, I think, about 4 years ago from the Birmingham rag market, which has some incredible deals on fabric. So anyone who's in Birmingham, if you haven't been to the rag market, please go. I loved it there, and I bought a whole ton of fabric and didn't actually spend that much money, because I think this kind of wool suiting, if you were to buy this in London, I think could easily cost in the region of between £10 to £20 a metre. And I think I got 4 metres for about £20, which is just insane. I also have a really cute lining fabric, this kind of Art Deco golden browns and navy blues, which I shall be using to line the bodice section of the dress and also the pockets. I just think these two look so pretty together, so I'm very, very excited about that. My goal with this dress is to get it finished in time for Valentine's Day, because Emrys and I are going to Bath. We're going to Bath for the day, and I have never been to Bath, and I'm so excited to go. I actually sent an email to Dani from Little Bobbins, so hi Dani if you're watching, asking her for recommendations about Bath and what to do, and she's given me some really, really good pointers for yarn shops and fabric shops, so that makes me even more excited. But I want to get this dress finished, which basically gives me 2 weeks from today, because today is the 31st of January. It's a little bit of a challenge. I think it's doable. I definitely think it's doable. I have a couple of days set aside to really focus on this project, but I think it's going to be helped by the fact that I am going to be taking part in the Tiny Paper Foxes Craft for 20, which is being hosted by Jenny of the Tiny Paper Foxes podcast, which basically means that for 20 minutes each day throughout February, you donate time to a craft of your choice. In particular, it's great if it's something that you haven't been doing too much of. I have definitely not done as much sewing as I would like recently. So I'm setting myself the challenge that every day in February for 20 minutes, I'm going to dedicate time to sewing, and in particular this dress, because I want to get it finished by the 14th of Feb so I can wear it to Bath and I can swan about in my lovely, lovely new dress. I will be sharing my my progress with this dress on Instagram. Of all the social medias, Instagram is the place where I am most active, so do please follow me on Instagram. Like I said previously, I am Miss Lavelli on Instagram and Miss Lavellia on Ravelry. Also, hopefully, fingers crossed, in this coming week, I shall be setting up an Inside Number 23 group on Ravelry. So keep an eye on my Instagram. I shall probably announce it on there when I've finished it. I'm not the most technically savvy person when it comes to these things, so I will be definitely getting that done soon. I would love it if you would come and join. Like I said, it means the world to me that so many people are subscribing to this channel now, and thank you so much for coming and watching, because it makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself. That is everything for today. I am uploading every week on a Monday, so do come back next Monday and I shall have some more interesting bits and pieces for you. I shall also be debuting my newest segment, which is Netflix and Knit, which I talked about on my previous video, so if you're at all interested in that, you may not be. I hope you are. Then come back next week. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I would love to see you back here, and yeah, do get in touch. Come and find me on Instagram. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about sewing and knitting and everything. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you next week. Bye. Say bye, Rose.